Hi guys, we are back here with Spotting Vet.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
Hi Tommy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. And you? How about
Oh,
you?
really good. It's a sunny day. I'm chilling out here in the house. So,
Holidays, so it's good.
just like maybe it's a day off today. Yeah, day off.
Fantastic.
It's good to record a little podcast for the series. So, what we're gonna do today? So it looks like it's the second episode. I mean, second appointment with you, and we're gonna keep going with a little bit with the same topics that we started the previous time.
That is right. Yeah, we wanted to go a little bit into the pretty topic of the zoonosis. Since someone told us that it's too nasty to hear, and we wanted to get even nastier for them,
Oh, that's
and
good.
so
Okay.
let's go inside it.
Quick thing. Did you receive some comments? So you told me a little bit on WhatsApp. You said that you received some comments, and I'm curious to
Yes.
see that what you think about the comments you received about the first podcast you recorded with me.
Yeah, I think that I've been like contacted from some people that I already knew. Some of them told me that they don't normally use gloves, but I think it's pretty normal. I mean, as we said the last time, not all the hunter use them,
I'm
but they
getting
were.
serious.
It's a tough topic to get into, so you must be getting serious. I can put mine on too.
No, I can see
Okay,
you
so
now.
now we are, yeah, now it's
Okay,
better.
sorry,
So
but
the guys told me that normally they don't put it on, but that the thing was pretty interesting, and they started to think that maybe sometimes it's a good idea to put it on. And also, I heard from some personnel across Europe, so other vets or other technician, back tech, and they told me that they always use it. So I'm pretty confident that it's just a matter of thing that people normally don't think about. It's not because they don't want to, but because they maybe sometimes don't think about it. So just sometimes recording and telling them that it's not a good, it could be useful.
and as I said in the previous podcast, is I blame myself so many times. Um, because I think about it, I have seen a lot about the pathologies of roe deer, and so opening the roe deer, I'm a little bit confident because I all the time I have a healthy animal in front of me when I start to cut, and even in New Zealand, the tar was that one we did with Ulrich was a young one, so I was confident, but. It doesn't mean that you should forget about the measures to prevent some serious stuff. And another things I was thinking after the podcast that we today hunters are experiencing like a huge technology in weapons, garments, clothes,
And that is
pet
true.
pack, and we have like we have weapons that can control ballistic in an amazing way. We have compound and can shot easily at 70 yards, 70 meters, and then guys, pair gloves doesn't cost anything. So it's just a pair of gloves you put in your backpack. What is? It's just putting them. And actually, I was thinking even another thing the other day, and we are facing with this pandemic. And then the debate about wildlife it's now is open more because
Mm.
now it looks like what happened is it's just a jump of a species from the wildlife probably, but then we have to be sure that hunters doesn't become now a topic that could be attacked just because we deal with wildlife, and then we are in the first line. So it's not just a matter of I prevent and protect myself. I'm butchering an animal and then I go
Yeah.
back to the city. I'm gonna put a risk on everyone around me.
It's a social issue. It's not just
And
for us.
we're talking about some pathologies today. We talked about pathologies yesterday. But what is happening is that biology is not a fixed pattern. Everything is evolving with us. Probably tomorrow we're gonna find out there's something else. There is not just, oh, I know the pathologist, nothing's gonna happen. You never know because virus, parasite, bacteria, they evolve with us. They evolve like us, and then we
Yeah,
never
you
know
you
what is
cannot
gonna
control
happen.
them.
So it's better to have a protocol to follow and say that I did my best. And I say, yeah, it's okay, like this, and then boom. As soon you just turn your back, boom, something happened.
Also,
Anyway,
if you want to go keeping out hunting, I mean, just for us, just thinking about hunting, not thinking about social issues, everything, but if we don't follow some basic rules, I just saw the video on Blood Origins profile that they spoke about California and the ban on hunting because of wildlife, because of the spillover of coronavirus. I mean, it's not right because it's not right. I mean, there is no spillover, there is no like connection, but
yeah,
people don't have to think that there is a connection. If they are searching for a way to do it and they found like an open door, they will kick the door. So, oh,
exactly,
sorry about that.
exactly. But that's why it's important. Hunters are in the first line. They are dealing, they're interacting with the wildlife. Let's show everyone that we do that with criteria. You know, we did it in a good way, and
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense that you bring a rifle that can shoot at 1,000 meters perfectly, and then you have log layers so you can deal with waterproof stuff. You can stay under the rain and whatever, and you don't have a pair of gloves. Doesn't make sense
you
because
know, we could start making curious gloves and Sitka gloves made of neoprene for going hunting. Maybe that could be more
I know
cool, and maybe people could wear that.
something you do like this, and then the neoprene goes off to the glass. As you keep secret these things, you know, we can work on that and make some money.
Okay,
Um,
okay, okay. We could do a patent pending.
Anyway, okay. So today, guys, what we're gonna talk is gonna talk. Tommaso, spotting bad for IG people. He just decided to talk about some pathologies. I'm gonna just make ask some questions to make the things a little bit more easy, and we don't want to create a lecture about pathology and stuff and blah 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 blah. But so, which are the pathologies you chose today?
So I thought that could be nice to speak about Brucella that you told the other time about
Yep.
balls. So maybe people could be interested.
About the nuts? About the
About the
nuts?
NAS, exactly.
Okay.
And then I wanted to speak about Trichinella.
Okay.
So it's a parasite, and also
Yeah.
about the tinea. It is another parasite.
Okay.
And for last, Echinococcus.
Okay.
Echinococcus granulosus or
Yeah.
multilocularis. So we choose what? Which
Nice,
one?
nice. So you wanted to start with brucellosis?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the more
Okay.
like
Nice.
logic way to start. So you're going to hunt an animal. You have the animal on your feet.
Yeah,
So
and I ask you every time we're gonna ask the same question. What is this pathologies that comes from what? Is a virus, bacteria, is what?
okay, so this is a Coccobacillus, so the bacteria actually
Yeah. Okay.
is endocellular, so
Yeah.
it gets inside the cells,
Yeah.
and you can get it from lots of animals actually, because there are lots of variants. So you can have Brucella abortus coming from the cow, and so coming from all ruminants in general, so cervids, roe deer, red deer, fallow deer, whatever you want to.
So this
Then
one
there
is called
Brucella abortus.
abortus is that
Yes,
one, and
that is
I could catch from deers.
exactly. That is
Yeah.
the Latin name.
Okay.
Then there is Brucella melitensis, and this
Yeah.
one comes from sheeps, all sheeps. So you're getting rupicapra, so shemi or ta, or actually, it's not only that if I go to a cow, I can take abortus, I can take also melitensis, because abortus is the main one of cow, but melitensis can be on the cow. And also if I get on the sheep,
just being there and not doing anything on the animal.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So you can
Yeah.
switch it.
Okay.
And then there is Brucella suis, so it came, of course, from the swine and the wild boar, whatever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is Brucella canis, so it's, of course, the dog, the wild dog, the fox, and all the kind of little canis. Everything gets onto the human too. So it's a zoonosis, it's a proper zoonosis. So
Okay.
it gets from the man to the animal, to the animal to the man. So
How I catch
stop.
that? How I touching the way.
Oh,
The way
okay,
how-
you get contaminated via the so-called fecal oral route. So mainly if you cut an animal open, there is the blood, or if you touch sometimes there is not a high component into the poop of the animal, but still could be. So mainly it's the touching and putting your mouth and the stuff, your hands and the stuff into the mouth. So mainly it's just the contact. It's
So
called
it's an oral contamination.
in the animals mainly is get from the fetal envelopes since the main symptom is the abortus, the fetal abortus. The main thing that you find on the ground is the fetal envelope that canids and stuff going eating, and then they get infected. That is
Yeah,
the main one.
for example, the shepherd has some cases and sheep
Perfect.
from the placenta. The dog is gonna eat that and then can spread somewhere else.
Exactly. It
Okay.
can be contracted also via the venereal way. So when they, I don't know how to say it in English, but when the big deer goes onto the female deer,
Okay.
it can get
During the reproduction.
the technique way was
Okay.
not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what can you see in the animal? Quite nothing. I mean, it's a chronic disease, so you do not see the manifestation of something big or something nasty, but you can see if you are going to search it, something, and it could be, of course, fertility disorders. So you do not have like,
That is stuff for hunter, right? So what
exactly.
can I could find on? Let's see. I have a red deer down.
You can get orchitis, as we said the last time. So you can
Yep.
get the nuts really big, really strong, really red. That could be the main one that you see on the male.
Okay. You see
Or you
that
get
there is a huge inflammation in that area.
exactly
Okay.
a huge and big one, and it's really sometimes it's also like blue, so
Mm-hmm.
cyanosis.
Yeah.
Sometimes is hot because there is the inflammation. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
not only the area, but it gets going up to the epididymis.
Yep.
And this is the main one in the males. In the females, of course, you can see if you're lucky or unlucky, depends. That is up to you to decide. The fetus. So maybe opening the animal, you can find the fetus that is dead inside. That it had like a maceration, so it's getting
Yeah, but
smelly.
actually, it's pretty tough for hunter
Yeah,
to
it's
get to
complicated.
those details. Actually, okay. So you are opening the animals, and then okay, you're touching the meat. You're touching the thing. Okay, let's say that you are unlucky
Mm-hmm.
and you get this thing.
Yeah. So first thing is to understand that you got those, because it's not easy. I mean, the normal symptoms in the man are like flu, so hypothermia. That could be everything.
Fever, you mean?
Yeah, fever.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Headache. Then you
Mm-hmm.
have problems to the liver, so hepatomegaly. You can be a
So
little
you
bit
have
depressed.
some pain here.
Yes, it doesn't mean that you have pain, actually. I mean, it gets like really, really big and you start not feeling good since the liver is not going to work. So you're going to have problem into the digestion. You're going to be a little bit depressed. You're going to have problem metabolizing I don't know, the drugs that you take. You
Yeah.
could have problem, as you told me the other day, in the coagulation that you see in the cows. The same thing for human.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have orchitis also, but it's like 1 on 5. So
Yeah. It's not that often. It's not frequent. Okay.
and you could have also osteoarthritis, so problems to the joints when walking. It is a thing that also animal has, but it's pretty impossible to see in an animal.
Okay. So it's not that really
It's not something that you
weak
see.
pathology. It could be serious.
It is really serious.
Could be
You could
serious.
die of Brucella, of course.
Yeah, for septicemia,
For septicemia, maybe.
yeah, and maybe disorder is gonna all the
Yeah, I
consequences that
mean,
comes from that.
long
Yeah.
time is liver failure,
Yep.
and when it gets liver failure, I mean, you're
Yeah, that
fucked up
is.
big time.
Then after that, it's so many
Yeah,
consequences that are gonna
yeah,
affect your organs.
acidosis, and you get
Yeah.
respiratory failure, and
Okay.
goodbye.
Okay. So what about the meat? Is any risk if I'm gonna eat the meat of an animal like that?
A lot. I mean, really a lot. So we decided to speak just about 3. So it's Trichinella, Tinea Solium, and you're speaking about that, like
No,
not
I'm
about
just saying
Brucella.
I'm in Brucella. If
You're Brucella.
the
Okay.
animal as we just stay with brucellosis
Okay.
still.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
So
I just
there
skipped
is
it.
any risk if I'm gonna eat that meat?
If you're gonna eat it raw, yes. If the animal is in septicemia, yes, because you're gonna find the blood into the meat, and you're gonna find the bacteria into the blood. And so it's like the same as leaking. I
Yeah.
don't know when you open in the animal, put inside the head and leak in the blood.
Okay.
It's the same
Okay.
thing. So you have to cook it properly.
The actually is the problem is now we are gonna open a little bit more to another topic because actually there are so many bacteria that can create septicemia on an animal,
Lot.
and that the problem is that it's gonna affect all meat of that animal. But there are
Yes,
some
not only a
ways.
part.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's not a zoonosis.
That is right.
So that's probably, again, we go back to the first podcast, that where is the reason to have some kind of a little knowledge to understand if I can eat that animal or not. Without thinking about, I'm sure this animal had that pathology, because as you said at the previous podcast, it's impossible to do analysis in the field. And still, me even, and then you in the future as a vet, sometimes I ask for analysis and I have to wait. I don't have the right answer straight away in the field. So,
Yes, exactly.
for example, there are some ways to understand if the animal. We talk already a little bit in the first podcast. If we talk about body score, we talk about the fat that you're gonna see around the different areas. We said, and then probably you can even see some organs that have this kind of spots, red spots, around. That are on the external surface of the organs, that it could be,
Exactly.
it could say, hey, look at me here, that we had a problem here, is an alarm.
A
Change the
good
color
place
of
to
the meat.
find it. They
Yep.
teach us that a good place to find it is to cut the head, like on the basis of the
Yep.
head. That is like a cone. You cut it here, and you can
Yeah.
find inside of here. Is because
So you have half of the heart like this, you see, boom, like that.
yes, you open
Yeah.
it and you watch it inside. Because if you're searching for some little spots, red spots, sometimes with blood, maybe it's not so easy to find it. But if
Yeah.
you search it in some particular spaces, I think it's more
Yeah.
easy. And also in the articular, if you cut the joints and you see some like red liquids inside of them, that means septicemia, 100%.
Or, for
So it's a good idea.
example, if it's really bad, when you're cut, this is a really easy one. But if you have in front of you an animal with this problem, just leave everything there. You open the gut, you open the belly, and inside the cavity, thorax or the abdomen cavity, you're gonna find a lot of liquid. That is not blood of the hemorrhage. Okay.
That is, yeah, that is right.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult because you're gonna have the hemorrhage that is mixed. But if the hemorrhage was outside, if you have, for example, a shot that was all through the animal, both sides, normally the blood, it will go a little bit outside, and then you still have this kind of collection of liquids that comes from septicemia. Okay. So
That is really
yeah.
useful, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, it's tough to explain everything because it took 5 years of our studies to get
And
to
I
get to
think
that
that
level.
still I will have to go a long way, since there is a lot of stuff that I will never understand, that I will never learn.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it's really not easy to say, Anders, look, you're
no.
gonna check about this and this that. But one thing is really common sense. You have one doubt, don't take a risk. Don't
Yeah,
take a
call
risk.
someone, call your
Exactly.
vets, call the
Yeah.
authorities.
And
The
if you
authorities, I
don't,
mean the sanitary authorities, not the police, since they don't know what to do.
and then why again, guys, wearing gloves? Wearing gloves is
Yes,
good.
to prevent is the best way not to have problems. I mean, you cannot. I mean, we are saying about there is a pathology that you cannot recognize. You cannot do a diagnosis on the field.
Yeah.
You cannot understand from the animals. I mean, even touching an animals could be a problem if you don't know what you're going to. I mean, just preventing it could be the best way to say. I mean, if you take the meat with brucellosis and you bring it home and you freeze it and then you cook it, there is no problem at all if you cook it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be
So
cooked like what is the temperature?
So it does depend, actually. I mean, speaking about parasites, the temperature are more precise. Normally, you're speaking about something like between 65 to 72 degrees in the heart of the piece of meat, of course.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be cooked all the way to
Yes,
the middle.
inside the temperature has to be in the center. If
Yeah.
not, of course, on the surfaces it will be hotter, and it has to be for at least 1 minute. But it does depend. We will talk about temperatures with the parasites maybe
Okay.
a little bit more.
And then we can apply that thing either for bacteria.
Yes. I mean, bacteria normally are less resistant than
parasite.
the parasite. Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
So brucellosis. Brucellosis. You want to say something more?
No, I won't say that I don't like it because you have in everything. I mean, it's like a nightmare, but still, it's better to know the pathologies that do not.
Really true. Okay, next one.
So Trichinella, I would say. So Trichinella is the first parasite that we see. It's a nematode, so is a particular kind of parasite.
Can you see with your eyes?
What?
Can you see with your eyes?
Yes.
How big it is?
It's not that big. It's called Trichinella spiralis because it makes like a little spiralis, a little circle, and you can see it. It's really, really small. So most of the time, you use like a microscope with four. How can you say +4?
Yeah,
yeah. So it helps you.
Magnification.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps you seeing it, but you can see also without. The problem is not that you cannot see because it's too small, but you cannot see because in the meat. So it's like complicated to find.
Yeah,
I mean, you should
fiber.
like slice everything and watch it. So
but it's, for example, it's while you are cutting and then you say, what
yes,
is this?
that could be. You have to be really lucky to find it, but you can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, the technique that they use to find it is like do another stomach in like a big piece of glass, put inside the acid stuff and put inside the meat, and you see like the stomach eating the meat, and if there is the parasite will stay on the.
Yeah, it's like the enzymatic digestion.
Yes, it is the enzymatic digestion.
Okay, so again, as we did before, this is a parasite.
This is a parasite.
Okay.
So this is pretty complicated since every parasite has a so-called biocycle. So it has to be differentiated between, how can I say, intermediate host and definite host. So like the definite host is the one that has the parasite and can have the symptoms, and the intermediate host is the one that can have the symptoms but is like a unlucky guy that has taken something. And the swine is both of them. So it's not a common to find someone that is like the intermediate and also the definite. And the man can be the definite host. So you get how you get it. You get it by eating some wine, some pork, not cooked, of course.
Just pork.
Just pork. Just pork.
What about a heat of fox?
Allora, sorry, this is Italian because it's not easy speaking English with you.
No, especially with the kind of science terminology.
Yes, so canids normally are possibly finding some trichinella. I know that in birds, for example, you can find trichinella. I know that in solipedes, so like equids and stuff, you can find trichinella. Okay. I don't know if there is someone that eats fox. But I would be interested to try it actually. So
you can find.
You can find it.
Yeah, you can find it. Thank you. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But like if you eat some, I don't know if you eat horse meat, but I mean we eat a lot of horse here. I know that there are countries, maybe they're listening us from some countries where if I say that I eat horse, they will say, but I mean it's really good, and you have to be.
Let's keep it simple. So if you were with a wild boar, okay. Okay, or a hog or whatever it is, and that belongs to the pork. Okay, so it's pork species. Yes. So
what do I find?
Most of the time, you will never seen a macroscopic thing that will say, "Hey man, trichinella is here." So how do I get this parasite? It's easy now. We can understand it by eating the meat.
Yes, exactly. It's the only way that you can take trichinella, actually.
Okay.
It's pretty tough to find on the animal. I mean, you don't have a lot of symptoms, but sometimes you could have something that can like light on the light for you, like an hemorrhagic enteritis. So as we said before, there's a big problem into the abdominal cavity with hemorrhagic enteritis due to this parasite that gets into the intestine and makes like some small hemorrhagic lesions inside of it.
Yeah, because this location of the parasite is an unlucky location of the parasite. Yes.
The reproduction of the parasite inside. And also myositis, so inflammation to the muscles.
The muscle. Okay. In some areas, if for example the parasite numbers, for example, it's important. Okay. Now we have, I think, a true option. I am a wild boar. I cook my water in a way, or I ask for analysis, right?
Yes, that is right.
Which is the
That is
best
right.
way.
Also, mainly, we could say also freezing meat could be a way, but lately it has been understood that there are a lot of variants of trichinella. So if you take the normal trichinella T. spiralis, yes, you can freeze the meat. You can freeze the meat minus 20 for 12 minutes, and it will be
Minus
okay.
20.
Minus 20.
For
Yeah,
how
minus.
long?
Yeah.
For 1 month?
No, 12 minutes for the spiralis. It's just 12 minutes. So
12, 12
it's like for the
minutes.
fish, no?
Well,
Yeah,
negative 20, it's tough.
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
Negative
but
20, it's a lot.
only if you get spiralis. If you get Britovi, of course, you cannot differentiate them by looking
Yeah.
at them. If you get Britovi, you cannot kill them by freezing. So, I mean, it's up to you to decide if you want to put it in your freezer and then say, okay, I'm fine.
Because what I knew there was like a normal freezer, as to say, more or less like between 4 to 6 months
Yes,
to,
but
to get to get
this is
like yeah. But it's, I mean, it's not a protocol. It doesn't make sense. So
no.
okay, I have to say that the best way is just to make the analysis. But I know because I'm in France, and for example, there are this kind of big dinner between the hunters. They
Mm-hmm.
are made probably by the hunting society and hunting
Yeah.
groups. There are a lot of people, and they, I mean, when we did for the license, I explained to you that it's almost obliged. I mean, you should do that. Then you ask for the
Okay.
analysis, you know, you ask for the analysis, and then you're pretty okay, and you're sure that it's not going to create any
Yeah,
problems.
you can do a salami. You can do whatever you wanted if you have the
Exactly.
analysis.
That is, to me, is the best
It's
way.
the best way.
It's the
You
best
have to.
way if you're gonna create. I mean, if that meat is gonna be spread among a lot of people, okay? But okay, let's make it more simple. So how can I just be sure that I'm cooking a wild boar in a good way?
You cook it 65 degrees
65.
in the hut for 1 minute.
One
That is what
minute.
they say. Yeah, the
Okay.
OMS, the OEA, so it's the
Oh yeah,
OMS
yeah,
for veterinary medicine,
yeah.
says 65 degrees, and is the one that is mostly used. 65 is not that heat actually, so you could actually be pretty sure to cook like a normal. It's not an extreme temperature. You can put it on the
No, no,
roast it, and you have done it.
so most of the time you're cooking that in a good way because 65
Yeah,
degrees for 1 minute is actually the wild boar you're gonna cook for longer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
So
sure.
it's a good information.
Mm,
But raw, guys, it's tough. Every part that is raw it
it
makes
is.
problems. It makes yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's keep going. Another one.
Okay. So let's do the tinea now. So we
Tina.
are on the
Ah,
same topic. So tinias, we always speak about the solitarium worm into the intestine that eats your food. The
this is
tinea
how
is
we
that.
call it, the Europeans, right?
Yes, this is the tinea, and the tinea is not joke. I mean, you have like tons of tinea. You have tinea solium, tinea saginata, tinea tiniformis, idatigena, multiceps, and it came in from all the animals. Like you can find the multiceps and the idatigena both in ruminants and in canids. So like it's spread everywhere. Then you find the solium from the ruminants, specifically from the cow, and the saginata that it gets from the suid, if I'm right. And that one, the saginata, is like the worst ever for them for the humans. Actually, it's not a zoonosis; it's the opposite. It's called anthroponosis. So it gets from the humans to the animals this time, and it's pretty strange, I think.
And then
But
again
it's,
from the animal
yes,
yeah.
then it gets
Okay,
back to the human.
that's
Yes,
interesting what you said. Actually, I didn't even
yes, it's
remember that kind of term. Nice.
yeah, but because we think that animals can infect us, but we can infect also
This
animals. I mean, it's sometimes it's strange.
this actually is an egocentric
Yes,
way to
conception
think.
of the world.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-mm.
It is, and we never think about that. We never even think about what kind of pathology is going to bring to the wildlife when we go there. Anyway,
Yes.
that's no start.
That's another topic.
We're gonna end it like in a 1 week here. So, but
Exactly.
actually, okay. So this worm, it's actually you can see it.
Yes, you can see the worm, and it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
You can see, you don't totally see the worms, but you don't see the small worms, so like the eggs, because it gets into your intestine. And when you go to the bathroom doing a poop, you see like the feces with some small little white eggs on it and they move. So it's pretty frightening actually.
Okay. We're actually
And
talking shit now.
yes, we are talking shit now. That is right. I had some friends having it, and like going to the bathroom and being there,
Yeah.
and they took it from animals. So
I.
yeah,
Okay, so
it's
it's
not good.
a parasite. I can see here. It's
Mm-mm-mm.
an oral transmission.
It's an
Okay.
oral transmission. Yeah.
Okay. And again,
Uh, how can we get it? We can get it in two main ways. So it gets into the meat during cysticercus, they're called. So it's like I don't know, a small thing, a small ball into the meat that sometimes you see, sometimes you do not. It's like a cystis. This is made into the intermediate host. And then you can take also eggs from the contamination of the water or the contamination of the vegetables sometimes. And that is a pretty serious way too. The problem into the man is the so-called nervous cysticercosis. So they made the same balls that they made into the muscles, they made into your brain.
it can create neurologic problems.
Yes, you die of it.
And that's
You
nasty.
die of epilepsy, you
Hey,
die of...
how many
It's
cases do you know in Italy, for example? You know an idea?
I don't know. I know that the last one was when I was studying parasitology, so a couple of years ago, and it was in Milan due to um, a woman that got back from, I think, Paraguay, and she died of neurocysticercosis in the hospital because when
Wow.
they found it, it was already pretty big into the.
So, guys, this thing is real. Yeah.
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 And also,
Okay.
if you don't get like neurocysticercosis, you can get like hepatic failure,
Yep.
enteritis. I mean, it's no fun anyway.
Because it really depends on location of the parasite. It's gonna affect the
Yes.
organ where it is located, and then all the functionality of the organs is gonna be lost, and then all the consequences.
Yeah, it can get ectopic. Like the parasite could lost
Yep.
himself into the body and go wherever he wants to,
Whatever you
like
want.
in the heart
Yeah, yeah.
or.
It's gonna roam, saying, where we go today? And he's talking to his girlfriend, saying, I'm gonna see the heart today. And then, I
Exactly.
prefer the brain. So probably they're gonna talk like that. Okay, anyway, it's just making nonsense speaking.
So
Okay, what do you think it's the species that could be affected if for a hunter?
neurocysticercosis in
Yeah, in
general, I would
general about the
say,
tinea.
but I would say that the main one should be surely ruminants.
Mm-hmm.
Ruminants is pretty foundable in Solium, in Teniformis, in the Datigena, and also in Multiceps. Of course, also swine from the Saginata. And the swine particularly is important since it's the main one that can be
That's
neurocysticercosis for
the
the man.
so wild boar and hogs.
Wild boar is shit.
Hogs, yeah, yeah. It's
Yes. Mm-mm.
yeah.
Is
Okay.
the like the tough one.
Next one.
Next one. Another interesting thing that is the last one that I tell you
Yeah.
about the tenia is the different cooking of the meats, because the OEA tells that you have to cook two different temperatures, two kind of meats. Like if you have the trim meat and if you have the like anti-muscle, because the trim meat being trimmed up,
Yeah.
you have a more contamination on the surfaces, and so you have to cook it at 71 degrees this time.
70.
71.
71.
And if
Okay.
you cook it, the normal one is 63.
Okay, so it's not. It could follow the. It's not following the same protocol of the trichinella.
Nope.
For how long?
For long, it doesn't say on the site, actually.
Okay.
On my manual of parasitology, they tell 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, we are on 71 for 3 minutes for this kind of parasite. It's better to keep that kind of information in mind. So
Or
we
you
say
can also freeze it. Actually, this one is -10 for 10 days, they say.
-10 for 10 days in a
That is
in the
doable.
freezer.
That is doable. I mean, if you
It's
put a
doable.
piece of wild boar inside the freezer and you eat it, I don't know, in a month, minus 10.
Yep. It's
With them.
doable. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
So, last one.
Last one.
Yes, is a Echinococcus that is like the king of the shitty one.
Wow.
Yeah, Ratu.
This is nasty. This one.
Yes, multilocularis or granulosus. So this one,
Another parasite,
yes, this is another parasite.
but a really
This is,
small one.
yes, you cannot see it. You see only when it gets doing his malfunction of the organs. That is called idiotidiosis.
Yeah.
These are particular pathologies that you find in the humans. So this parasite from the same family of the tinea actually gets you having some big cysts with fluid inside
A kyst is like just a bowl,
yes,
right? With liquid inside.
yes, and it can be like also really big. It's normally found, unluckily, in young boys, and so you can get it in the liver or in the respiratory district generally. And the main problem is that you can die because it can break, and you have like anaphylactic shock because of that. Because it's no human component, it's not self component.
It's an antigen, and the body doesn't recognize that. It's gonna have a full immunity reaction to stop that things, and it's gonna cause anaphylactic shock, and you don't have that much time actually.
And that is the last one. You can get also other symptoms like obstructive syndromes, it's called, with hepatomegaly and respiratory failure. So it's complicated.
And it could locate even in the brain.
It does.
That is a huge thing. Yeah, I think
that's
there
impossible.
are cysts of this size actually. Sometimes in the brain.
But when you have it, you cannot do anything. You can just try to take out some fluid. But you cannot open the brain and take out half of the brain. You're dead.
So we said previously, how do I get that?
That is particular because we spoke about ruminants up to now, or swines. Now we speak about canids. So there are a lot of hunters that actually shoot also foxes, or wolves, or coyotes, or bears.
Yeah.
You can get it from them, mainly from them. You can get it from contamination of the fecal. So it's like the oral fecal way that we told before. So the contamination of the stuff, this time particularly from the feces, since it's a parasite that is albergating to the intestine. And also,
I just want to say something about this. And actually, guys, if it comes from the feces, just to make you understand, the shit of the animal, it doesn't mean that it's just this kind of material, fecal material, that is going to contaminate what there is around. Okay, that means, and this is really important, I just want to stay here for a little bit, is that animals, they don't have tissue, they don't have shower. They use water, whatever, but most of the time, if they have an issue, as I'm doing myself, that I have a problem here, I stretch myself with a hand. A fox is not going to do that. It's going to lick herself. And they're going to lick her ass as well at the same time. So that means that parasite could be spread everywhere on the fur. Could be on the tail, could be on the leg, could be whatever. You hold a fox like that, it could be like you have a parasite in your head. I am like this, I'm a little bit tough on that, but then I shot foxes most of the time, and I bring my daughter with me. She stay 1 meter from the fox, and she have gloves. She never touch a damn fox because it could be serious. So, guys, I never touch a fox without gloves in my life for this problem.
There's no joke around it.
For this problem, because it freaked me out. So, and I opened like 100 foxes in university for some kind of just samples. I was there for my thesis, but because my thesis was wild goats, but the rangers, the parks, and the different hunting society give us all different wild animals, and they give foxes as well. And I was there helping a little bit, and I give just the possibility that foxes came even to my routine of research, and I was getting samples for the labs. I never touched a foxes in my life without gloves. It could be scary, it could be stupid, but when you hear these things, when you these kind of pathologies, man, you just have one chance. So please, please, you have one life out there. And I
In this
know
world.
that it's nice to show your fox to look like that you have a good hand and you have a good fox, but doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Even a pair of gloves. Took the black gloves for tattoo guys. They look cool. If you don't want to wear some flashy blue gloves or white that you look like stupid in the field, you can get those black ones in nitrile. They are really good. So I know looking tough in the outdoors because you want to look awesome doesn't make any sense. Sorry guys saying that, but there are people that die of that. Maybe
A
not
lot.
so many, but it needs one. That one could be you.
Yes, sometimes mainly in the rural field. I mean, I know that in Sardinia, that is an Italian region, they have like hugest problem with that. They have a lot of sheep, they have a lot of canines, and a lot of child die mainly for contamination of the salad. They eat salad not cleaned and stuff,
Mm-mm-mm.
and
Can you
with this on.
because probably I was just out a little bit of the topic
Yes,
about just
but it's the same. Yeah.
the dynamic of the pathologies. Can you just repeat a little bit the cycle of this
Yes.
parasite and the
So
different hosts?
So the canins are the definite harbor or the definite host, as you want to say,
Hmm.
and they have the tinea, so the echinococcus, since they are the same thing, at the intestinal level. So they get it and they leave. They leave the echinococcus on the ground that is not still mature, and they get eaten on the grass, on whatever you want to, on also in the water. That is a big deal. I mean, if you drink water from somewhere that is not clean, you can get it
Yeah,
if there is a fox shitting up,
yeah.
and it can get into normally ruminants and then equids and also swine and also men, as we said before. So this is the intermediate host, and they form these seeds, as we said before, inside the liver or inside the brain, as you tell, or
Okay,
inside the respiratory
let's
system,
go back a little bit. You have a fox, and then the fox is gonna spread this parasite on
everywhere,
the fecal material, and then on the grass. Okay,
on the grass,
so
in the water. The
in
water
the
is a good
water.
one.
So there is another animal that is gonna
Eat it,
probably while
yes.
feeding whatever is gonna get from this material, fecal material that it was spread by the fox. Okay, what is gonna happen, for example, on a sheep that is
Okay,
oral
so
contaminated?
the sheep eat it, and the parasite goes into the intestine. But from the intestine, that it migrates and it gets with via hematogen via, so with the blood,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the liver,
Okay.
and it stops into the liver, or it gets to the respiratory system, as we said before. It stops there, and it gets building up this big size, as we said before, with big fluids inside of it. And it gets bigger, 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 and pushing up the organs. So if I have on the liver, it pushes up my diaphragm, and I cannot breathe, and then maybe there is some compression on the heart, and I have problems in my heart pump.
So a sheep could die of that.
A sheep could die. Also, maybe you think a sheep run into the field, maybe falling down for every reason that you want to. It breaks it, and a sheep's die like they have like 1,000 bees on her stinging her because of anaphylactic shock. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
Like you get
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sting from another or
Mm-mm-mm.
break it.
Okay,
So it's
so
pretty serious.
the
It's not a
sheep
game.
and man could be are definite hosts.
Yes.
Okay, that's
No, the sheep and the man are intermediate hosts. So they
which
have only the lesion.
which the definite one.
The definite is only the canids.
Canis. Those
Only that.
okay. The fox could die of that.
The fox normally don't die of that.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
the big
it could
risk is,
happen. It could happen to some
but it's
degrees that
really
you have
rare.
like an ectopic. Yeah, but it's pretty rare.
Okay, so actually the big problem is the intermediate host. Are those they're gonna collect all the risk and the
Yes.
consequences. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
nice.
Yes. Yes. But we cannot get it from the. I mean, we can get it from the intermediate host, but it's not a common, since when you see a sheep that is died and you see the liver that has something big like this, you're not gonna eat it.
Yeah,
That is
of
the main
course,
thing.
of course, of
And
course.
I'm not even sure that if you eat a liver like that, you're gonna die of it, since the parasite, I don't know if they are like the mature form of the larva or not. It's pretty tricky, this one, so I don't know everything, if I have to
Actually,
be
the
clear.
cycle starts for that material, the fecal material that is on the grass or on the water.
I know for sure that the contamination again of another fox is when the sheep die and the fox goes in and eat that. It gets another time the echinococcus
And
and
it
it
start
gets
again.
back to the cycle and start again. So I know that for sure. I don't know if I'm gonna eat a raw sheep
Yeah,
that
because
died
the
for echinococcus.
how you keep going with the cycle actually.
That is the problem. That way you have to stop it. If you don't stop it here, you're gonna spread everywhere, and you will keep
So
having.
an intermediate animal that dies will help to keep the cycle ongoing
Yes,
because another
yes. In
fox is
fact,
gonna eat that sheep.
the prophylaxis tells, of course, to burn up the sheep. You cannot even leave it on the ground. You cannot even put down the ground because the fox will search for it. They
Exactly.
tell the shepherds to burn it, but no shepherd does it, since
Yeah.
normally a died sheep gets to the dogs. That is a big problem up here,
Where?
of course. In general in North Italy, but also in Sardinia. The big problem where they did like a super
The
plan with lots
feral
of money.
dogs? Feral dogs?
No, no, not feral, but the sheep dogs, sheep of the farmers. You tell the farmers not to give the sheep with the echinococcus to the dogs, but they don't want to, since they don't understand it, and a lost sheep is some money lost.
And they give
So
some
instead
parts
of
to the
giving
dogs.
food, yes, they give some part to the dogs.
Yeah, that's a nasty
That is
one.
tough.
That is really bad because that's the best way to keep the cycle ongoing. I mean, wow. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Interesting, interesting. So that was a little bit, surf among the different pathologies. But guys, there are more pathologies. But for example, we didn't talk about tuberculosis, but it's tough to put everything on a podcast. So if you really feel like about some topics, you feel about passionate about any topics that are linked to this, what for example Tommaso was talking about, yeah, pathologies, prevention, whatever it is, just comment below and
oh, right
uh,
as DM, I mean.
write a DM on Instagram, whatever it is, and we can think
Yeah,
about
we could
it.
do another podcast,
Another
another about the
podcast.
pathologies.
Yeah,
I know it's
Tommaso.
boring sometimes for people to listen,
Yeah,
but maybe it gets
yeah.
interesting. I don't know. I really like it.
We don't know. We don't know. So was the hand with Tommaso, and probably will. So after this one, guys, we're gonna get back with Paolo. That is gonna make another special podcast, but I can't spoil it because otherwise, Paolo is gonna. And he's still in preparation, and probably we're gonna get back to spotting that in the future if we're gonna think about a little bit about what could be interesting to talk about, and according to the comments we were gonna receive. So it's you guys that will decide about our future. I hope
Thanks for having
someone
me
is gonna
again. I
say.
really enjoyed it,
No, and
like always.
I enjoy really, really a lot. It's really bringing me back to those years of university, and I have to say, when you practice, when you do your job, actually, you're gonna forget a lot of theory, and it's important to talk with students and your answer as well. What I really enjoyed is that I really love that passion that you have, and you're gonna try. You are mixing actually these studies you're making with the passion that you have for hunting, and it's really cool because we need this today. We need young people that understand that hunting could be a good reason to interact with the wildlife, to interact with the environment, not just going there and say, "Oh, there was a red deer so big and whatever." No, it's nice,
Yes, it's
but
more
they
than
are
that. It's really more than.
it's a lot more than that because when you are out there, you experience so many things, so many things.
And for since we are on the topic, for the guys that are listening, I know that you've seen it since you commented it on me. But there is a new film that is going out to Donny Vincent, and exactly about that. It's about Morville. So it's pathogens onto sheeps, and that should be like the first film ever made onto hunting and pathology together. That is like, I don't know, the major
Yeah,
cornerstone
yeah. Donny
of
Vincent, he
the
has
turn age
been
of an era.
actually read different posts on that he published, and he always been active in for this kind of topics that
Yes,
educate the
that
hunters
is beautiful.
that it's important to know about the biology. It's important to know about
Conservation.
the risk that you could have out there. It's really, really, really intense. And this is why I decided to talk with you, decided to create this podcast, and see that the
Thank you very much for the
hunting is it's a huge diamond with so many faces, and we are just like holding the diamond like this, in front of the light, and then, for example, people that are no hunters, they are always used to look at with the same side, but the faces are so many. We just have to rotate that diamond, right?
That is true. That is really true, and that is a really good idea. I mean, the diamond, I never thought about it, but it's pretty perfect for the hunting.
I'm a philosopher. That was freestyle, actually. I don't know if
We could
I
get
wrote
the
about
new
that.
Franco's theory about hunting.
Kidding.
Okay, so I
Okay.
believe it's time we
Okay.
get it off. If not, people will never listen to us
I
speaking
think
about shit for
I
hours.
think it's getting worse. It's getting worse, man. It's better to end it up here. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, but the most important thing is comment. Comment below. We want to know what you think about it and what are the topics you're passionate about.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
Thank
I'll
you,
see
man.
ya.
See you, brother.
Yes.
Bye, bye, bye.